Great. Let me just share the link about the program for you in the meetings chat so that you can have a look at it. I'll also share with you in your respective WhatsApp groups so that you may explore at your own time. Great. So this program is called Coders at American Spaces Kenya. And this program is about bringing in a group of coders, those who are passionate about technology and those who are passionate about creating solutions to solve their local community problems. So this program is by the US Embassy Kenya, and it's implemented by Pwani Techno Girls. And we are targeting areas that are found in the American Spaces Kenya. That is Nairobi, Nakuru, Lamu, and Kilifi, and also Kisumu. But if you are not within those areas, who are within the environs, you're still welcomed. You are still most welcomed. So most welcome to this program. And it is aimed at sparking that creativity in you with the guidance of the facilitators. So my name is Joanne Nabusoba from Pwani Techno Girls. I'm the development director, professional development director at Pwani Techno Girls. And I am really passionate about training and empowering the community with mobile application skills, web application skills, and technology at large. So you're most welcome. So this program is geared towards you having that creativity in you, having that creativity in creating mobile app solutions or even web app solutions to solve your community problems. And this is with the guidance of the facilitators. So our target group is from 18 to 35 years of people of this age group. And then you are, you're to learn through the bootcamp, you're to learn these coding skills. And when you acquire these coding skills, you will be able to create projects. We will take you through the ideation process, and then you'll be able to create projects. So we are so excited that you guys are able to join us. We are super excited that you are going to journey with us. So this program is going to take place for a couple of weeks. We are going to tell you how long, but by the end of September, we will be done with the program. So we are super excited that you guys have been able to join us. I'm reiterating that, but we're happy that you've been able to join us towards this program. So I'm not the only facilitator. We have other amazing team that are very willing to join you in the ideation process. They're very willing to assist you in case you have any questions along the way. So yeah, feel free to reach out to us. I am Joanne. You can feel free to reach out to me. We have also our director, Ms. Ruth Kaveke, our deputy director, Madam Aisha Abdul Kadir. You can join us. We also have one of our remarkable supporter and trainer, Mr. Brighton Masaru. You can always reach out to him in case you have any queries. So just to point out that. So you have joined the mobile application group, and we are going to take you through the basics of learning how to create an application, a mobile application. And then in the process, we can take you through the SDGs that you are supposed to focus on to create the applications from. So let me just talk about the SDGs in brief. Now, as you look, when you look at our country in Kenya and the way COVID-19 pandemic came in, you will realize that there are certain SDGs that are really affected. And the first one, of course, is the area of health. Our healths are affected, and we need rapid solutions to solve our community problems in the areas of health. We also have our economy. Our economy has really downshifted, and it's not only us, it's even the entire world. But we want you as a group of coders to join hands together with us and learn these skills and even create prototypes. And even long after the program is done, we will be able to join hands if you want to continue with your program, with your application, with your idea to implement it in your local community. So that's what we really look for. So the areas are health, economy, democracy, and then security. So these are the 4 areas that we will highly encourage you to think about you coming up with the ideas And then from there, we can help you through, walk you through implementing these ideas. So first of all, we start by learning. We start by learning the skills of how you can prototype a mobile application, how you can create a mobile application. Then we give you further resources on how you can create these mobile applications. And then after that, we now assist you with the ideation. We walk you through with the ideation process. We walk you through with the creation of your prototypes, pitching it. And then from there, when the bootcamp is over, we will be able to ask you to at least join forces for you to be able to implement your idea to your local community. So I hope that is enough intro. I welcome any questions. If you have any questions before we start the bootcamp, feel free to ask us any questions, either if you're here on our Zoom meeting or you are in our chat. Feel free to ask us as many questions as possible. You can raise your hand or you can type even in the comment box. We will take it before we begin the session. Any questions so far? Or if you've not understood anything, you'd want me to repeat whichever area, we highly encourage you to ask as well. Okay, so we have our deputy director in the meeting, and I most welcome her to add a couple of items. Karibu.
Asante Joan. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is keeping safe wherever you are. Remarkable ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm really excited and I'm really happy to have you all. And I'm really looking forward to the awesome sustainable solutions you'll create. John, thank you so much. You have talked much and you have already told them about, I think, what the entire program entails. For those who might not even might have joined us late, we can always share with you even our website at polytechnogirls.org. You'll always find resources there to help you learn more about this project. So basically what I just wanted to add on top of what Joan has said is that we'll also be sharing with you a pre-survey form. The pre-survey form is very, very important in us learning and understanding your skill set. It doesn't mean that you have to be pro or you have to be excellent. We just want to collect data so that we know how best we can go about in supporting you, in mentoring you as well. So thank you so much, and I'm really looking forward to having you all join us. And as Joan has said, we're all here to support you. And remember, as we are prototyping, as we are learning this tool in creating mobile applications, as Joan has said, let's think about what sustainable solutions we can create in the 4 areas that she has mentioned, because those are the 4 areas that have been really affected during this pandemic. So thank you so much, Joan. Back to you.
Thank you so much. That is our Deputy Director, Miss Aisha, also a very passionate software developer. And I'm super excited and thrilled that you guys have been able to join us. Great. So any question from the team before we begin? Maybe you have questions about the orientation program, the orientation that we've given you. We can kickstart. Oh, great. Thank you. Now let's begin by we can begin by us having okay, I think there is a question in the chat. Okay, so if you've just, I can see Cheminon, you've just joined, most welcome. And we will share with you the video even after and the links to our website about the program. So let me just share with you. Okay, so Priscilla, you're asking how long the program will take. So the program, today is May. So you're going to learn these skills through May, only on weekends. We want it to be as favorable to you as possible. So on the weekend, same time at 10 a.m., you'll be learning mobile application skills for 5 weeks. That is on this Saturday, the next Saturday as well, and the coming Saturday for 5 sessions. Then after these 5 sessions, we will be able to guide you through the ideation process. That is on the 6th week, and then we will walk with you through creating the program or creating your mobile application based on the areas of health, economy, democracy, and security. And then after that, you will be able to submit your or your solutions to the judges. And then when you submit your solutions, they can be able to give you feedback. And of course, we have prizes for those who have really given in their best to innovate. So we have prizes for you. Let me just stop sharing a little bit. Yes, we have prizes for those who have taken a keen interest to create a remarkable and very impactful solution. So watch out for that. If you create a really amazing solution, that is, it does not matter whether it is in the area of health, economy, democracy, or security. It does not matter which mobile application tool you're using, but as long as the solution is really remarkable and it has a great potential, you will be able to win the prize. You'll be able to be among the prize. So the program is going to end in September. Okay, the program is going to end in September, and the trainings are going to end in July. And then from July, the beginning of July, we just walk you through the entire July. We walk you through creation of mobile applications, and then on August we finalize, and then September we close the program. So I hope you understand now how long the program is going to take. Mary? Great. I hope you are getting that. I hope you've gotten that. Yes, the program will end in September. So just to give a lineup of how, again, to reiterate how, again, the program will run. We are going, of course, to start with the boot camp. And then after the boot camp, you're going to have, the ideation session where you're coming up with ideas. And then after coming up with ideas, we walk you through implementing those ideas. Finally, you will be able to pitch and submit. And there is certificate to everyone who has finalized, who has walked us through, or who has journeyed with us all through up to September. Yes, there is a certificate, and the certificate is by the American Embassy in Kenya and by Pwani Techno Girls. So yes, there is a certificate. An additional thing is we are going to also give you, there is a tool whereby you can learn more skills. It's called 21st Skills. People pay a lot for these skills, but as Pony Techno Girls, we really do our best to make sure that we give these resources for free. So I would really encourage you to harness everything as much as possible during this period. So we are going to also share with you, not only are we going to train, but we're also going to share with you a platform called 21st Skills. And this is a learning platform in which you can learn certain programming concepts. And these programming concepts are like application development, mobile application development. And then there is also artificial intelligence as well. Akin, you're asking whether you're going to be paid. Paid for what, kindly? We are not paying anyone because we are offering these skills for free. So these skills people pay a lot of money out there for. So we are offering these skills for free, and that's our aim. So, okay. So as I said, the main partners of this program is the US Embassy, as well as the US Embassy and Pwani Techno Girls. So the US Embassy Kenya and Pwani Techno Girls are the ones running this program to give you these skills for free. I hope that is clear. Can we now go ahead and start the training? Great. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and then we can start the program. Fantastic. So, oh, great. So we are going to learn about mobile application development because this is about developing mobile applications. Okay. So with mobile application development, basically it's just a matter of you creating mobile applications or mobile softwares that are going to run in mobile devices. Okay. So with this, having these skills, you can be able to create applications that run on smartphones. We have our normal phones. We have the smartphones. We also have watches. Nowadays, there are these smart watches in which you can track your health status, your blood pressure, and things like that. In addition to that, we also have tablets. We also have embedded devices. So you can be able to create applications that run in these devices. Additionally, there is another thing you need to understand when you are jumping or you're diving into the mobile application development. I know we might have members in the meeting here who are, let's say, who are well conversant with softwares, and there are those who are novices. And that's why we are going to share with you a survey form in which you can be able to let us know your skill set so that we can be best know how we can know how to best help you. Okay, we can know how best to engage with you. So you're going to create mobile applications in Android. There are different operating systems, like we have Android and we have iOS. We also have Harmony, which is recently which is an operating system that has been launched recently by Samsung. We also have Huawei launching its own. We also have Ubuntu Touch. These are different operating systems that people have, these major companies have launched. But the ones which are major is Android and iOS. And we are going to introduce you to Android application development because in Africa and in Kenya at large, a lot of people are using Android smartphones. So you can be able to create applications and install them and run in your mobile applications. And then you can create an application to solve a particular problem. Great. So just to reiterate again, there are different tools in which you can use to create mobile applications. And it's really important for you to know these tools. Of course, you're only going to use one tool, which is a no-code, low-code tool, because we have a really short time for this boot camp. And we also have sessions on Saturday because we are considering the factor that you guys might have a activities during the weekdays, and even weekdays in the evenings you can be using that time to create your solutions. So we are going to there are two different tools in which you're going to use to create mobile applications. And the first category is no code low code tools, and there are different no code low code tools like Codula, of which you are going to use it. And then we also have Thunkable. Thunkable is also a tool that you can use. And then there is MIT App Inventor. Of course, there are so many other tools that are out there that you can use, but these are the three major low code, no code tools that are open source, that are free for you to use. Additionally, we have also coding tools. And in the coding tools, you can be able to create applications that either run in Android or iOS, but you will have to really learn. The learning curve is a bit steep, but we are sharing this with you because we believe that, of course, even after this program, you can be able to explore this and learn even more. So one of the coding tools, we can break it down into two. We have the native ones. So what do we mean by native? Native are the ones which are you create, which there are tools in which you're building applications that are natively for Android or natively for iOS. And these tools are, of course, you learn they're very specific, and you only build applications for a particular platform. So let me give an example. For example, you're going to create an application, and an application to solve a certain business problem, and using native tools. So you have to decide if you're, let's say, building both of them. You'll have to come with the Android application from ground up, and then come with the Android iOS application from ground up. So these applications, of course, they are stable in your mobile phones. They're very stable, and you can be able to use them, and you can be able uh, to utilize the native components like camera. Of course, even cross-platform applications, you can be able to utilize that. But the disadvantage is you will take a longer time to code. That's the disadvantage, because coming up with an application, something you have to learn two different languages, coming up with these two applications. But of course, we still encourage you to learn these skills in case you want to be a full stack mobile application engineer. You have to at least be conversant with these tools, because there are areas in which you might find them necessary. So in the native group, you will find that there are two major integrated development environments in which you can use to develop these applications. So um, we have the Android Studio. Android Studio is one of the integrated development environment you can use in Windows if you're going to create an Android application in Windows, or even in a MacBook. And then if you want to create a native application for iOS, you have to use an integrated environment called Xcode. And Xcode is only available in MacBooks and in Mac machines, because Mac is very strict with their licenses, and these licenses are not given to Windows or Linux or any other machine. It's only available in Mac. So yeah, that's what the difference is. So MacBooks, if you have a MacBook, you can easily create iOS applications. And if you have Windows, you can create, of course, Android applications. Even in MacBook, you can create Android applications. So other than that, we also have cross-platform applications. We have cross-platform applications, and these are applications that you can run in both iOS and Android. They're even the ones that you can build into even desktop applications. And a famous example is Flutter by Google. We also have React Native by Facebook. We also have another one called Native Script, but it's not really very popular nowadays, but people use it anyway. So yeah, these are the applications, or these are the tools that you can use to build these applications. So having said that, low code, no code tools, you might be wondering, then why are we learning these low code, no code tools? With these tools, you can be able to prototype within a very short period of time. And also, you can be able to learn concepts of coding using these tools. So you'll be able to implement your applications and even learn the concepts of coding, so that in your process of transitioning to a coding tool, it will be a bit smoother. You won't be having a really steep learning curve when you transition to a coding tool. Additionally, these tools are still powerful. If you invest your time very well, you can really build really powerful applications. Great. Any questions up to that point before we begin? Okay. So fantastic. So we have Molly, you're asking, can you also have a recorded version of this meeting? Yes, this meeting is recorded. We'll share with you the recording. And then the session is going to end at 11:20, and we will leave you to go. Then fantastic. So Mary, yes, the session is going to end at 11:20, and you're going to have a soft copy of the training, and you're going to also have the video recording. So Leila, you're asking a very important question. What is the difference of low code tool and no code? Okay, it's yes. Yes, okay. Oh, I thought someone is speaking. Fantastic. So we are saying the difference is What I can say is the difference is actually the same. We've categorized it to low code stroke, no code tool. What do we mean by this? You're going to, basically these tools have been pre-built. Most features have been pre-built for you. Most features have been pre-built for you. So it's just a matter of you dragging and dropping certain components that you need. And in the backend, you just join the components together using a particular logic. So you're basically not setting up the entire thing and bringing up the code, typing in the code all together, but you are going to have this tool already, the tool is already there for you, written in stored in powerful servers, and then you're just going to use them to build your application from ground up. And you might use a little bit of code. So that's why we are saying low code, no code. So you're not basically coding it and setting it up, setting up the environment, setting up your integrated development environment, but you are basically having your applications, you're having it, let me call it having it a bit easy in a way that you can create native applications with pre-built tools for you. Let me know if I've answered your question. Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Leila, for that feedback. We appreciate it. Great. So we can dive in now to start. We can dive in to start for you to just see how you can learn this tool, to see how you can learn this tool. So first of all, the first thing that we highly recommend is, of course, when you're creating an application, is to have a database. And what are databases? This is where your program is going to store your files. So the database that you're going to focus on today is called Firebase database, and it is by Google. We're using this Firebase database because it's stable, it's by Google, and it's from this major company. But of course, as we are growing, you will learn more about databases, and feel free to use the database of your choice. Okay, so the first thing that you can do to set up your database is, of course, you have to have a Google account or a Gmail account, so as to say. So what you do is you can go to your URL and Google Firebase. Firebase, just like that. Just type Firebase, or you can go to that link. That link is firebase.google.com. Firebase.google.com, and this is a database by Google. So when you click on that database, on that URL, okay. So when you click on that URL, you will be able to see more about what Firebase offers. Of course, you can link Firebase to your mobile applications. You can link Firebase to your web applications, or even gaming, those who might be interested to dive into gaming applications. So with having, I mean, you can link your applications to these platforms. But for now, we are going to link it to our mobile application. So how do we go about it? Let me do my best to sign in with an account that I've not used Firebase already. So I'm going to log out. Okay, and use a different account. Okay, so the first thing that you do is you click on go to console. Go to console. So console is a platform, is an area where you're going to make sure that you build, I mean, you interact with your application. So you're going to create a project, okay? You're going to create a project. I know for in this case, there are different projects here, but you can, in case you've never created a project before, you'll be able to see create new project button. So when you click that project, you'll give your project a project name. You'll give your project a project name. So for example, we are going to create a sample project for us to be able to learn and understand the basics of how to create a mobile application. So I'll just give a sample project. In this project, we're going to learn by creating an appointment app in which you can be able to book appointments to, let's say, get your hair cut or to get your hair done. So I can just give the project name, let's say, Smart Salon, Smart Salon, like that. So after you write Smart Salon, you can click continue. So we have a question. Let me see. Okay. So you, Leila, you're asking, can I increase the font? Thank you. Let me increase the font. With, I hope you can be able to see now. Great. So after you type Smart Salon, you can click on continue. And then after you click on continue, we have Google Analytics. I know most of you I know what analytics is, but it's just a term used for you. It's just a term that is used for you to. It's a term that is used to mean uh, for you to track the number of users that are coming to either your application, to your website. We have also Crashlytics, Crashlytics. And I learned that Twitter uses Firebase to get the crash report. We also have cloud messaging if you want your application to be able to send notifications. And we also have, testing and things like that. So these are really great things that Firebase is giving us. But since we're just beginning, I'm going to disable that. Of course, you can enable, it's no problem, but I'm just going to disable that and then click on create project. So as your project is creating, just as a project is creating, so Firebase is one of the tools that is one of the database that I call that you can have a look at, but it's a database that is real time. What do you mean by real time? Do you see how you chat on WhatsApp? How you type your messages on WhatsApp and get direct, instantaneous, let me say instantaneous response on WhatsApp. So that's what we call uh, real-time database. You can be able to interact with your database in real time. Okay, so this is one of a database that I consider my favorite. Yes. Okay. So as that project has created, everything is ready to go. Our project is ready. We will click on continue. And you will find yourself on this page. You'll find yourself on this page where you're going to have have a place where you're going to interact with your real-time database. This is not actually a long process. It's just us setting up and us building it. Okay. So the first thing, of course, we have the authentication here. We're not going to interact with that right now. We will do that as we go along. But there is this real-time database that you can click. So when you come to your Firebase database, you've created your project successfully, you come to the real-time database menu, and then you click on create database. You click on create database. So after you click on create database, you, of course, there is the real-time database location. We don't have one in Kenya, I think in Africa as well. We only have servers in Belgium, Singapore, and the United States, but it does not mean that your database will not be real time. These servers are really powerful, and that's why your WhatsApp is powerful because your servers, yes, are in the United States, but it's powerful. You can see when the other person is typing and chatting. So don't worry about the real-time database location. So you click on next, and then you choose start in test mode. Start in test mode. So why are we starting in test mode? Is because we are not launching this application to the web or to the Play Store right now. We're just learning. So we test first. We start in test mode to ensure that we test the application, play around with it, and then when it is ready or it's time for us to launch the application, we'll be able to lock it. So we'll click enable. Fantastic. So there is this great URL here, this URL that you will be able to find there in the data tab. You'll be able to find that URL there. And then just keep it safe and secret to everyone. I'm going to change that in mind because this is a live session. Why am I saying that? It's because that URL can be used to manipulate your application. Okay, so I'll change that after the session. So we have the rules here. In this rules section, you will change this now. You'll change this to true. And notice the way I've deleted, let me just undo that. I'm going to delete from this section of now plus the quotation marks, but I'm leaving out the comma. Delete that, and then I type true. So in case you come back and watch this video, just pause it and rewind it if you need be, if you need to understand better. So what does true mean? It means that because you're starting in test mode, we're giving the application, our application permission to freely read and write data in this database. And we are done. We are done with setting up our real-time database. Any question so far? If you have any question, feel free to post in the comments or even in the chat. We'll attend to you right away. Great. So we are going to dive into now the low code, no code tool I was talking about. And that tool is called a Codula. Of course, there are three major tools. We have the MIT App Inventor. We also have Thunkable, and we also have Codula. So the great thing or the good news about this low code, no code tool is the moment you know one, you can be able to know the other. Like the code is very similar. Oh, great. So Karen, you're asking a very important question. You're asking what are the monitor roles? Okay, so in the monitor roles, this is where you can be able to basically evaluate and analyze the rules that you've given. For example, in the rules, we are allowing in the application, we are allowing our application to read and write, okay? But there are some, you can be able to allow your application to do certain things. For example, let me give a quick example. This is interesting, Karen, very good question. So for example, your application, you say that you're launching an application to book appointments, or maybe you're launching an application to sell something. And then you're saying, for the first 10 people, who have installed this application, they are going to get that item for free. So by you doing that, you write here in rules, and then you will monitor. When you monitor, you'll be able to see the number of people who have downloaded for free. And then after that 10 is exhausted, you are going to be able to see the number of people who are paying. So basically monitoring is just you seeing your rules being effected in real time, okay? Thank you for that amazing question, Karen. I hope I've answered your question. Thank you. Any other question? So why are we sharing these technologies as well? You can be able to, in case you're using, in case you're going to build your applications, you want to solve your local community problem, or in case you're building your application and for your specific business as well, you can be able to use these tools. Great. Thank you for that question. Now, after we're done setting up with the database, of course, we have data section here and we have that URL. I'm showing this URL because we'll come back and look at it. So Diana, kindly unmute. I can see your hand is raised. Kindly unmute and ask your question.
I was asking about this real-time database,
Mhm.
can I download it to my phone or to my laptop so that I can use the application?
To use the application? That's a very
Yes.
good question, Diana. So this database is what I can say is pre-built, or it's stored in a server by Google. So basically, you cannot download it and save it in your machine. But when you implement your application and link it with this real-time database, you can launch it and use it. So Firebase is one of the database that has that is stored in Google servers. Okay, so you're just basically using this database that is stored for you in Google servers. And for a start, it's free. It's free for a start. So you can use it and then link it to your mobile application. And that application, you can download it and use it. Does it
Thank
make
you.
sense?
Yes, it does.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that question. Fantastic. So, yes, if you have any question, please don't fear. Raise your hand, ask, you'll unmute yourself, if or you can post it in the chat. We are happy to listen. Great. So after you set this up, now let's go to the mobile application platform. Okay, I'm time conscious because I promised that we are going to stop at 11:20. We are now at 10:42. So Kenyan time, of course. So let me now come back to Cordula. So Cordula is, as I stated before, is one of the no-code, low-code tools. And with Cordula, you can create applications in Android, download it and test it in your mobile phones, Android phones, and even build it and launch it in your Play Store accounts. Or even, let's say, if you have a friend who has a Play Store account and they can give you a section, add your email, you can be able to launch these applications for your users, for your users to use. Fantastic. So with Cordula, how do you find Cordula? Of course, Google is our friend. You just type in the tab there, Cordula, and it's with a K. So I've posted the links. I've posted the links on how you can access Cordula, but I can just share that again. It's https://www.cordula.io. It's where you can learn more about how Cordula, or where Cordula is found. So let me just copy that and paste in the description, in the link of your, in the chat as well, so that you can be able to click and access Cordula. Fantastic. So with Cordula, you are going to be able to create mobile applications, and in Android specifically. But other than Cordula, let me just mention, because when you learn Cordula, you can be able to create an application in MIT App Inventor or even in Thunkable. They're very similar. It's just that one has more features, others has, yeah. Yeah, so that's one thing you will need to bear, where to take note. Fantastic. Okay, so with Cordula, we've said Cordula is one of the tools. So let me just show you another tool. It's called Thunkable. It's good for us to note this, because you might, during the week, might be exploring these things, and then you might be able to find that, I think I prefer Thunkable. I think I prefer MIT App Inventor. So this is Thunkable. You can be able to create applications, and with these applications, with Thunkable, you can create an Android application, you can create an iOS application, and even a mobile web app. A mobile web app is basically what we call a progressive web app. If you don't want your users to install apps, but have an icon where they can easily use your application. Great. So you can have a look at Thunkable. It's at thunkable.com. you can find more about that. So other than Thunkable, we have MIT App Inventor. We have MIT App Inventor. And with MIT App Inventor, you can build only Android applications as well. And you can build apps with it. And all these tools, feel free to just have a look at them at your own time. We really encourage that. So, but today we are going to utilize Thunkable. We are going to utilize Thunkable. Kindly be on mute. Yes. So let's utilize Codula and try it out. So we are going to click on, the moment you come to codula.io, we have the docs where you can get the documentation. And then we are going to click on create apps for you to be able to learn and try this out. So if you are really new to Codula, you'll be able to find that, you'll be able to find that you'll be prompted to, let's say, create your account or sign in. So I want to give a scenario in which you are really new to this tool. So I'll click on create account, and then you can either sign up by putting your name and email, or you can use a Google account or a GitHub account or a Twitter account. So the famous one, of course, that people like using is Google. So you can just click on Google. I'm going to use my Google account, one of my Google accounts that I've never used here. So I'm just going to use that one and then authorize. So after that, of course, take your time. You can take time and read through the terms and agreements, and then you can accept. There are not so many. And then you can accept the terms of service. So of course, you have to accept the terms of service for you to be able to use this tool. Fantastic. So you are here now in the creator platform. So remember, we are using a cross-platform tool. And no, we are using an Android tool to create the Android application. And this creator.codula.io is hosted in their powerful servers as well as the database. But you can build your applications. After you've built it, download it and run it in your mobile applications and even distribute it to your users. So we'll click on create project, of course, create project. And then the project name, of course, we said we're going to create an application that enables users to book appointments in the salons, and or if you want to have a haircut. For us to understand, I'm not saying that this is the applications that we want you to build, but for us to understand the concepts, the basic concepts of creating these applications, and then from there you can build your own. So the application name, I'll give it the name Smart Salon, just the same way I've called the database. And then I'll click on next. So feel free to ask questions if you have any. So the theme, of course, in your mobile phones right now, you have dark themes, light themes, even on the Facebook applications, your respective applications on WhatsApp, you have dark theme and light theme. So it's really important for you to note this. You can choose your application to be dark or light or the default one. I'll just leave these settings as it is. And then it's also good for us to understand what the minimum SDK version is. And SDK means Standard Development Kit, that determines the Android version. I know you know this when you say my phone runs in Android 10 or my phone is in Android 7, or I know most of you don't have that, but yeah, so these are the minimum Android versions of which you're creating your application. So when you set this, you're saying that any phone that is below Android 4.4, this application shouldn't work in this phone. Then we have package name. And this one, we can leave it blank because it will pre-populate for us. It will pre-populate example.com, something like that. But package names are basically, in case, let's say you're launching an application or an idea that is or you're launching an application that is called, let's say, a Smart Salon, and you've stored it in smartsalon.com. So it will be, the package name should be by convention com.smartsalon, but you're free to put any name that you prefer. You're free. Then primary color is the colors that will be on the app bar, on the title bar, and then the dark one will be at the top, that section where you have your battery percentages and so on. And then finally, the accent color is the colors that is included in the actions, let's say the buttons and so on. So I'll leave everything as it is and then click on finish. We'll have a small tour about this and then create something small, and I'll leave you to go. Great. So if you're new to Codula, feel free to go through this tour. Yeah, feel free to go through this tour, but I'll just finish it up. So this is where now you're going to interact and build your applications. So Codula, or even these coding components, you'll be able to find that we have 4 sections. We have the palette section, we have the viewer section, we have all the components section, and then we also have the properties section. So in the palette section, you're going to have, or you're going to use components. These are components that you normally know, like buttons, checkboxes. You have interacted with these images. You've interacted also with radio buttons and so on. So other than that, we also have the layout section, and the layout section is where basically you can arrange your items in your screen. So if you drop a layout, you can arrange your items either in a vertical way, in a horizontal way, add spaces. And then other than that, we have media. And in media, you can utilize the camera tool, audio picker, basically media files, okay? You also have the Yandex Translate, whereby you can translate some items. We also have text to speech. We have a lot of components like QR code. Okay, we also have drawing and animation, where you can create a small gaming application. You can have a look at this. And then we have the Lottie, whereby you can put animated texts and even animated, basically animated files. We have Google Maps. If your application is going to track, let's say you want to know the location of where a person is, or the location of, you're giving user services and they need to know your location, they can follow a map. You can give them directions all through the applications. And then we also have sensors, fingerprint sensors. Our mobile phones nowadays have fingerprint sensors and features like that. We also have, of course, gyroscope, hygrometer. In case you're using an application that requires you integrating with farming equipment, you can be able to use these sensors. We also have social, phone call, texting, emails. We also have storage, and in storage there is these are databases as well that you can use. Of course, an application can use multiple databases. We are going to learn that as we go along. Then we have utilities. You can use these utilities in your applications. We have dynamic components. We are going to try this out as we are coding. We also have connectivity like Bluetooth. We have Arduino. I know most of you know this if you've interacted with Internet of Things, but if you don't, we are going to learn together. And then we have Google, whereby we have the Firebase. And that's why we are going to use Firebase database, and we're going to link our application to the Firebase database that we just created. But we have also other Google features, like, of course, the YouTube player. You can customize your application to have these features. And the good thing about this, it has monetization. You can put ads, okay? You can put ads in your application and get your click money, but don't bore the users. We are going to guide you on how to have let me say, think about solutions that people can pay, or give services that people can pay. Great. So that's just the tour of the palette section. And then we have the viewer section. In this viewer section, you can be able to see how your app can look in real time before you run it. The default one is Google Pixel 3 to emulate how your application looks like. But we also have LG phone, we have bigger ones like, of course, there is that Samsung Galaxy, and just for you to be able to see how the application will look like, but you can run the application in your mobile phone to see how it will look like in that specific phone that you own. And then we have the all components section, whereby the moment you drag a component, either visible or non-visible, the moment you drag a component in your screen, you will be able to see and edit the properties in the properties section. Great. So if you have any question, feel free to drop in the comments. So let's try by experimenting this. So a screen is a component in its own. A screen is a component in its own. So the first thing that we can do in this screen is we can try playing around so that we understand how components work. So we are going to try it out and give it a couple of features. So we are going to start with giving, of course, these are the accent colors that you are able to see. And because this is the entry point of your application, you will have to set up basically what your application will have. For example, the app icon, you can put your app icon on screen 1, but these features you won't find in other screens. So you put your app icon there, your app name, you can customize it there as well. This Salon was the project name, but app name is different. And then other features you can customize as we go along. So let's try out customizing this screen so that we can understand how to interact with this screen or how to create basically an application. So let's try it out by creating a simple login screen as shown here in this PowerPoint. Let me just go to the PowerPoint. Okay, here it is. So we are going to try by experimenting by creating this screen, the initial screen, just this simple screen, so that we understand how Codula works or how you can create an application. So this is how you go about it. You come to your codula.io, and then I think I don't like this Lexus. Let me just go back to Google Pixel. Great. So as you can see in that application, there was no, this title bar was not there. So I'm just going to remove that. How do you remove that? You come to your screen property, scroll down and find a title visible. There is a checkbox called title visible. When you uncheck that, the title will disappear. It will not be there anymore. So after unchecking that, I'm going to give my screen a background color, and it's going to be a light shade of gray, just a light shade of gray. So I'm going to choose a light gray like that. So how do you choose? Let me repeat. How do you choose a light gray color? You come to the background color. When you click on background color, there'll be a pop-up on your left. Select the color of your choice, or if you have an hex color that you know, you can put it there and then click on set. And then I'm going to position every item that I add in this screen at the center. So align horizontal, I'm going to put it at the center. Align vertical, I'm also going to put at the center. So now I am free to drag and drop my components. So let me start by dragging and dropping components. I'll come to the user interface and then come to the image section, drag that image and drop it there. So this image is going to hold, and as you can see from the notes, the image is going to hold that hair thing, okay? So I'll come back and then I can give it a height. So with this image, you're customizing it. I'll give it a height of 120 pixels, a fixed height, and then give it a width of 120 pixels. Pixels. So pixels is just a unit of measurement in the coding world, okay? Yeah, so after giving it 120 pixels, I can upload a picture. Okay, so you can click to upload a picture. If you don't have a picture, in your file, you can click this cloud icon there, and then you can be able to upload a file. So when I click on upload, I can come and select a file that I feel is suitable. It's suitable for this section. And you can pre-download these images in advance, so that you don't have, let's say you don't have any trouble finding them the way I do. But I'm just going to select any image. Yeah, I think I have an image here. So I can select that image and then click on open. So once it is uploaded, you'll come back to the picture and select it, and it will populate there. It's very simple. It's very simple. So this is a picture that will just like an app icon for you to welcome your users. Okay, great. Now I'm going to add a space before I add a text. We don't want the image to just touch with the text, the image and the text to be close to each other. So I'll go to the layout section. And then in the layout section, in the general section, we have what we call space. So you drag and drop space there, and then you can give it a height of 20 pixels so that at least there is a space between the image and the text that you have populated. Finally, not finally, actually have a couple of yeah, components, just a couple of components. So after you've dragged and dropped the space, you're going to drag a text, because as you can see in the notes, we have a text here. We have a text here called Salon Smart. I know it's very tiny. Let me just present so that you can be able to see. We have a text called Salon Smart. So in Salon Smart, you can be able to see that it's a bit bold, it's bigger, it's showing. And then we have book appointments fast, convenient, accessible, and then a space, and then a proceed button. It's just a screen for you to welcome your users. So let's go back now to our creator Codula and try implementing that. So how do you put a text? A text, you use what we call a label component. So after dragging a label component, if you type the text Smart Salon like that, you'll be able to see that it's not as pointy as it was before. So we customize it in the properties section. So it is bold, of course, for it to stand out, and then it's of a bigger size. By default, it's 14. So let's change that to 22, like that. And then the typeface, I think font awesome 5 regular is one of my favorite, but you can leave it as it is. We're going to leave height and width as it is. So it is popping out the way we wanted it to pop out. And then we're going to drag a space again from the layout section. So you come to the layout and then general, and then you drag a space, drop it there, and give it a height of 20 pixels as well, so that we have a little bit of space like that. And then we are going to drag another label. We are going to drag another label, drag it, drop it just below, and then we can give it properties. So in this label, let me confirm the details that we wrote there. Book appointments fast, convenient, and accessible. I don't know if that statement makes sense, but at least you can edit it to make it sense to you. So book appointments fast, accessible, let me correct that. At least the text section has an autocorrect for us who sometimes don't type correct. Yeah, convenient. Like that. So for this text, we don't, if we increase the size, of course, as you saw before, that text is a bit big. So we give it a width of 16, font size of 16. Then of course we select font Awesome 5 regular. As you can see, it's overlapping. So we don't want it to overlap. We will have to give it a width of a certain percentage. So in dimensions or in mobile applications, you'll be able to see that we have dimensions either in percentages or in pixels. So if you're using percentages, you're going to have it responsive, okay? You're going to have it responsive. You're going to have a responsive design, something of that sort, in a way that if you're saying something is of this percentage, it doesn't matter the screen size. We are going to experiment that in a short while. Okay, so so we are going to give it a height, something of a static height, let's say like 60 pixels. But for width, we want it to be around 80% of the screen so that it does not overlap towards the outer zones of smaller screens. So as you can see, it has squeezed itself to occupy just 80% of the screen. And in case you want to know this is 80%, just have a look, just observe. We have, if you're going to a smaller screen like that, it only occupies 80. If you're going to a bigger screen like that S9, it's still 80%. If you're going to that Note, it's still 80%. However big your screen is, it will occupy 80% of that. So this one is too big, I know, but yeah, Microsoft Surface. So this is 80%, and then we can align this text to be at the center. So text alignment, center, and we are done with that. Then you're going to add a space there so that the button does not touch the text component. So I'll go back to the layout section, layout, and select general. And I'm going to drag a space and drop it after. Let me see, I think we have a question. Okay, I think, I don't know what your name is, but you're using a Huawei Mate, but you're asking if you can be able to use Cordula application offline. No, unfortunately, you cannot use Cordula offline. You have to be connected to the internet, but it does not consume bundles. It's very efficient. It does not consume your data so much. And then another thing is in one of the non-coding tools, no code, low code tool that you can use offline is MIT App Inventor. So you can try. It's very similar to this. You'll find very similar components and try it out in case you don't want to have the stress of coding offline. But the good thing about this Codula is, of course, your work is saved online from where you stopped. You'll just come back and continue. Even if my laptop shuts down right now, I'll come back and continue from where I left from. That's a great question. Great. Now, after you've put that space, you can give it a height again of 20 pixels. Yes. And then finally, we are going to drag a button. So you can drag a button, drop it after that space. And then in this button, yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for asking that question. So in this button, you can give it some properties. You can give it, let's say, background color. So we have 10 minutes remaining. You can give it a background color. So in that button, I think we can give it either pink or red. It depends with how you want your salon people to see your items. So it can be screaming like that, I think, which is okay. I've just selected, I think, material orange, the default colors there, like that. But you can even select pink. If you are into pink, you can select whichever color you like. So after you select that, we can customize this button a little bit. For example, font, we can make it bold. Font size, we can change that to 16. Default typeface, we can use font awesome 5 regular like that. And then height, we can leave it as it is. And then width, of course, you can give it a custom percentage of 85% like that. And then we can, I think the shape, rounded buttons look really good. Like the corners have curved shape at the edges. I think it looks good like that. And then for the text, as you saw in the other screen, it's get started like that. Get started. So after that, we are done with creating that user interface. How long has it taken us? With let's say with me explaining and so on, it has taken us, I think, 30 minutes. But for you, it can take even shorter. You can implement this as fast as you can. So one thing I'd like to iterate again is for us to rename our components, because we are not just designing the front-facing part of the application. When we come to the backend section here, and click on the blocks here. When you click on the blocks here, this is where we are putting our backend. We won't be able to see. So it's really important to rename this component so that you know when you go to the backend, you can be able to interact with these components. So let's start by renaming these components. We can rename this to, let's say, app icon, the ones that majorly you're going to use in the backend. So I can say this app icon like that. Rename. Space one is just space one. I'll leave it as it is. Then this one, we can rename it, that label, we can rename it. So you rename by clicking that pen icon and say, let's say that that is app title. And then we can rename that label as well to app description like that. And then finally for the button, we can rename it to proceed button, proceed BTN. We don't want to be wordy with our words like that. Okay, and we are done for today. Any questions so far up to that point? You can feel free to even unmute. In case maybe you've not understood something, you can let us know. Okay, I think that these are great questions that you're asking here. And after renaming, what happens now? So after renaming, you won't see any change in the interface. After you rename, you won't see any change in the interface. But when you come to the block section, for example, I am coding, I want when this button, to implement some action on this button, I'll be able to know, yeah, it is that button that I renamed proceed BTN and use that action and use it in the backend section. So in the designer section, as you're creating your user interface, you'll be able to have these designs and I mean, rename it. Of course, after you edit the properties, when you rename it, you won't see any change. But in the backend, you will, when we start working on the backend, you'll appreciate the fact that you can be able to use this application. So as I said before, we are going to share these notes. We are going to share the notes, to share the video, and we are going to share everything. Okay, you're going to share everything for you to be able to access once the session is over. And please try out before the next session. And we really look forward to seeing your creations. So Purity, thank you so much as well for joining us. And we look forward to another session. Oh, thank you as well, Molly. So you're asking, there is a question, is one able to launch the interface without actually finishing the application? Yes, yes, you can be able to launch this. So how do you do it? There are two ways. First of all, I think we'll share with you the links as well for you to be able to share this. And the first tool is test. There is the test button here. You can click on test, and then there is connect to companion. So what does it mean by companion? You'll have to go to the Play Store and download a Codular Companion. We'll share with you the link. But there are some who don't like this method. Maybe you don't want to install multiple apps in your applications. You can try using USB, and you connect via USB. So when you click connecting via USB, you can connect to a USB cable and install it and run it in your phone. That's really cool and exciting. And then other than that, we also have the export section. In the export section, you can export the Android APK. It can build and bake your project, and you can download that APK, install it, and even share it with your friends way before you even launch in your Play Store. So that's a really great question. Any other question? Thank you, Leila, and thank you guys for joining. So we have our amazing facilitators also in the session. I want to welcome them in case they have any comments. Let me come to the any comment from our amazing facilitators. In the meeting, we have our awesome facilitators of these projects that you're going to see a lot from them, even throughout the learning process and ideation process and project phase. We have Mr. Brighton and Madam Aisha. Thank you too. Thank you too. So any comment from our facilitator?
Thank you, John, for taking the time and taking us through that. And I hope everyone here will take their time to practice and expand on what you have introduced. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brighton, for that. Oh, great. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. I like keeping my word. It's 11:18, 2 minutes earlier. And we wish you all the best as you're joining this. Just do your best to practice before our next session, because we are going to continue from our next session. And you can even join us live, and you can share your screen in case you're stuck. Join in with your Zoom in your machines, and we will be really happy to code together with you. We are a very supportive team. That's what I can assure you. We are a very supportive team. In case you have any questions, feel free to let us know in the comments or even on our WhatsApp group. Another thing is, based on your creativity and based on your commitment in this program, we will inform, of course, our director, our deputy director, and all the people who are running this program. Your contacts will be shared so that you get internet support. So that is based on your commitment to you joining the sessions, to actively participating in the session. So that's one thing you have to watch out for. So we thank you again for joining us. We are going to share this in a short while, and we look forward to having you in the next session. Have an awesome day ahead of you.